Good morning, Leos. How are you guys doing? Good afternoon, good evening if you're watching this recorded. I said whoo because I'm having technical difficulty this morning. I had some problems yesterday with Aries, so hopefully we're all good to go. I did have to do some backups on my computer, so I had more room. My daughter was like, Mom, you have no room on your computer. So anyway, welcome. My name is Patty. I'm your empath that is doing your intuitive tarot today. I also mix astrology and numerology. I think it's really important to mix all energies, but especially most of my, well, I won't say most, all of my tarot reading or anything I do is divine driven, divine guided. Okay, so everything comes from him as much as possible. And then I intermix the energies of the planets mainly. And then I look at the numerology. I don't look at the numerology is thousands of years old, but so I go by the planets more so. All right, because those energies of the divine and the planets are really pretty much the same thing if we really look at them. That's why astrology is so interesting to me. So let's get started. This is for the week of the 3rd through the 9th. Is that right? I think so. My goodness, I've been doing so many things lately. Yes, the 3rd through the 9th, that I got my weeks all mixed up because I'm at work and also doing this. So 3rd through the 9th, no major things going on other than we have a new month. We're still in the spring. We are still in the death rebirth process, especially with the planets. We are also in trying to release being stuck in our ways. And we are also on this race of slowing down to have the stamina to finish the race. This is not a sprint. It's a long race. And some people are just not prepared for the long race. So that's what we're looking at for all the planet energies, along with what the divine has been saying so far to me. So let's get going. So for those of you that are brand new, the first oracle is going to be Divine's. That is a message he's trying to send to you. Question you may have asked: why are things this way? Why isn't life turning out? Why does this keep happening? Whatever it is that's going on in your life, this is his card to you. I didn't used to do this. However, he gave me a message. He's like, I want a card. Why are you leaving me out of it? And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't even think about it. So some people do past, present, future. I do divine, present, and future. Future being, it could be the planets, and it could also be some of the energies for what is happening in your life. And that's going to be for the next 2 months. So when you see the future card, that's 2 months. That is through May, June, and possibly July. All right. So let's see what we've got going here, what the divine has to say for you, Leos, and what kind of message he's got coming up with you guys. All right. Boy, she is popular. She is really popular. Different cards this time mainly. This is interesting for you guys because I'm getting almost the same cards with everybody. You guys got different cards, so you special. You're special. Okay, so the Divine's card is the Wind Fairy. The Wind Fairy is about your thoughts, words, and your intellectual analysis. Now, this has come up. I don't know if it's come up for Leos before, but it has come up in either the current energies or future energies for other signs. And it's also the number 11, which is the number 2 in numerology, which means you're going to bring things together and begin to have balance, or you're going to separate and blow them apart, and you're just going to be off on that roller coaster again. So this is choice. Okay, he's talking about your choices. And the choices for the Wind Fairy are going to be your thoughts, your words, and your intellectual analysis. So this is a really strong message for someone out there in the answers that you've been asking the divine. This is saying, you know what, whatever you think is either absolute truth or not. It's in love or not. Whatever you put out of your mouth or whatever you think to put out of your mouth is either absolute truth or it is not. And when he means not, it means you're thinking worldly. And that's the same with your thoughts, your words, and your process of thinking. So that low vibrational thinking, oh, I'm not pretty, oh, I'm not healthy, oh, I'm not, well, these are things that we can change our thought process, okay? Or I'm ugly. You know, these are things that we tend to lie to ourselves, and that's a worldly thing. It's sort of like a cesspool going down, like a toilet bowl. Whereas we need to be bringing things up like a tornado, you know, because the tornadoes, well, actually, tornadoes come and touch down. However, they have the power to go right back up. So we have to sort of look at in our intellectual analysis, which is more worldly, of how we are thinking and where we are thinking from first. That's the divine. He goes, are you thinking from your heart, which is me, my spirit, your intuition, your little voice in your head? Are you thinking from this part first, or are you thinking from earth first? This is second dimension. This is first dimension. So we have to think of that process. And everybody's like, what the heck is she talking about? Second dimension is love, kindness, compassion. It is healing. It is caring. It is putting selflessness first. And then on our earth, it's all about what we see, what we do, what we hear, what we go by, all the distractions of everything that we have going around us. It's like a horse without its blinders on, and we pay attention to all the crap that isn't even true. And then we have to go back and intellectually analyze what we're talking about. Okay, so this is what the divines, and I hold on to this card and I talk about this card a little bit more because this is the number one card, divine driven, divine guided. You'll hear me say that all the time about my life. Been there, world life, no thanks, don't want it. Divine driven, divine guided. It is the happiest, peaceful way to live ever. And I don't mean I'm a hoo-hoo where I do like crystals. I do like the smell of sage and frankincense, but that's not where my power comes from. My power comes from divine. If I want to get rid of a spirit, it doesn't come from sage. It doesn't come from frankincense. It comes from divine. That is the ultimate power that we pull from. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Now the current card. The Queen, guys, the Queen, and this is number 4. So somebody might be having something come up here because we have the Divine's card is the number 2, right? Bringing something together in balance, or we're separating something. Well, the Queen is the number 4. 4 is about your foundations, your boundaries, your grounding, and it's also your stability and this is the Queen, which is about your femininity. It's about the soft side of you. So if you're male, then you look at the softer side, that second dimensional side, that side of love, that side of compassion. And men are more logical, but they do have a little femininity in them, and they also, all have friendships, and it's understanding. For example, if somebody had somebody pass of COVID, God forbid, everybody, male, female, whoever, has compassion for that other person. I got a gnat. They're going through that grieving process. So we all have that caring side. That's what the Queen is about. Okay, she's also about sexuality, so don't lay on your back this week. Especially if you're not in a serious marriage relationship kind of a thing, long term, whatever. And that's mom speaking. That's grandma. That's old. That's the boomer in me speaking. No, but it's actually, if you have a sexual relationship too soon, it will ruin your possibly longevity with that person. I'm not going to go into relational coaching right now, but if you are wanting a long-term relationship, hold off on that sex. All right. But this is all about friendships. This is all about the compassion card. Okay. So think about compassion. Think about the soft side of a woman. We love our animals. We give them unconditional love. Most people love kids, but the thing is, you give them unconditional love. You're smiley, you're happy, they're innocent. You be kind to them, you teach them, that kind of a thing. All right. Future energy is restriction. If you're dating, that means don't lay on your back. Restrictions, because here's the thing about restrictions. They can hold you back. They can hold you back in a way that you don't want to move forward. And it's also the number 8 about rewards and progress. So it's sort of like if you were to restrict yourself from, I don't know why I'm going into the couples. Maybe we're going to have a relationship thing here. But the thing is, if you're starting dating early and you go into that sexual thing too soon, then what's going to happen is that you have just basically changed the whole course, because it's very complicated because of the bondage, because of the not only emotional but spiritual. There's all kinds of things going on there. And I'm not saying, a lot of people are just into that. That's fine. However, you just realize that it's not going to last, because the idea is to restrict yourself from somebody and that temptation of going that way, because the more that you put it off, the more that your testosterone, your estrogen, and everything builds in your body. And that actually creates, so when you actually do, the bond is even tighter, more emotional, more bonding than anything. So that's why we say restrict. Counselors will and coaches say, you know what, it's not, if you're going to do it, we do it, but however, it's more better to hold off, because it's like a buildup, and then you get a reward at the end. It's like, wow, I waited for this. I've taken the time, I've restricted myself, I've sacrificed, I've done this, I've done that. That could be even for something you want, is like you've worked hard to get it. So really be careful. Also, restrictions can be, diet. Stop eating sweets, sugars, things like that, of that nature. You're restricting that because you want to lose weight. So the restrictions you may think are really evil and horrible and all that kind of stuff. They're not. They're there for you to have successful and positive standards, healthy standards in your life. Thank you for that. I forgot about that. Thank you so much. So that is the thing, is that we want to make sure that we have healthy standards in our life. All right. So let's see what the Divine's got going in these cards. Knight of Wands is first off. Then we have the Four. There must be some kind of relationship coming up, because the Knight of Wands, he is a little bit about, he's coming in fairly fast. I see two energies here. So two energies, the Knight of Wands and then the Four of, this has something to do with divine and the thought and the words. We're back to this thing again. So pay attention, whoever this is for. So we have the Knight of Wands and then we have the Four of Wands. But see the way that the Knight of Wands is directed, he's moving away. So somebody may be afraid of a commitment. Somebody may be afraid of, so maybe I see two people in the wrong space. So one really wants a commitment. The other one's not quite there yet. I see that one that wants a commitment is pressuring the other one that, is just not ready. They may want that commitment, but they're just not ready. They're just not quite on the same page yet. So they're thinking about taking a hike. So be really, really careful of your words and your thought process, because you may be pushing them away. There's another person here, though, that is thinking about a commitment. They're just not sure. So I don't know if somebody, and this again is the feminine energy. I feel the feminine is pushing the masculine, and this is going to be not a good turnout for you. Don't push. Don't manipulate. Let it go. If it's not of divine, it'll go away. If it is of divine, it'll stick around. All right. Yeah, this is definitely feminine energy. We've got the Queen all over the place here. So again, that's your, women, fertility. It's sort of like when we look at this couple, it's like, I think these are younger people. I think the girl is like, well, my biological clock is ticking. I need to get married. I need to know if you're serious about this. I need to know if you're really wanting a baby. I really need to know if you really want a family, because my clock is ticking and I really need to have a kid soon, and blah, 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 blah. You're pushing the person away. That's not the way to do it. You should have had that conversation very, very early on in your dating. And if you are early on in your dating, then you need to keep interviewing. And if that's not the right person, keep moving on. Again, this is about your thought process and your words. Have to be careful, have to be gentle, have to be the queen in a feminine energy. Feminine energy is like how we would treat kids or animals, that playful energy, that innocent energy, that loving energy, unconditional energy. All right. All right. So then we have the Six of Wands. This is interesting. I'm going to have to get clarification on this one, because we have the Six of Wands, the Empress, which is also acknowledgement. The Empress and then the Tower. So it's almost like it's in reverse. So when we see these together, the Six of Wands is victory. Now, we could also put this with this here, that there is victory, because if this person actually does mellow out, is very gentle and kind with your words and how you actually move about, you will succeed in getting to what you want, that celebration. However, if you push, it's going to go in the opposite direction. So this is an individual victory. This is something that really came about that you did, and people were watching and how you did it. So, but this is also a nurturing energy, a healthy energy. This is also, remember I said somebody was really, my biological clock is ticking. This is the fertility queen here. This is the Empress. She's all about fertility. She's all about the feminine energy here, totally, 100%. Okay, so I can't make this up. That's how the cards come up. But this is also, too, a victory that maybe something is really going to rock and change her world. Remember, we were talking about the future and the restrictions and your thought process. I think this is going to change her world in a really good way. Now, this could be a masculine energy. It just means that the softer side of you is going to make things possible and win. Okay, and it will change your world. It's like, for me, I went through a phase, and I still am trying to get out of it 100%. As people get older, I think especially women in menopause, we think that we can not say anything that we want, but you can say it more bluntly, and we really can't, because we still have to understand that that other person is a human being, and we would not want to be treated that way. So what I mean by that is I can be very blunt in the truth. And I have to realize that the way that my thoughts and my words come out need to be through that feminine side and not the masculine side, guys. So when you're talking to women, especially men, that you want to talk more from your gentle side. You have it in there. You really do. Even though how logical and realistic you guys are, you have it in you. And it's really important because women are emotional, but we're emotional beings. Okay? And it could change the outcome of something completely upside down, the way that you approach and speak to another person. Divine saying, your thoughts and your words, how are you saying them? He wants you to speak more feminine, which is in more love, in more caring, even if it is the truth. Right? So it would be like me saying, I look at fat differently because I've worked in the fitness industry, and fat is just an essential thing that we have in our bodies that we need. Some have more, some have less. It's just a part of our anatomy that we have. However, even though I look at fat differently, and like my mother would say, "Oh, you're a little overweight." No, Mom, I'm fat. And so she would like, well, that's not really nice to say that. No, that is what I am. I'm fat. However, I would not to another person or a client say, well, you know what? You're just really obesely fat. You're just fat. That would hurt a person's feelings. This is the feminine side that we're talking about. And so if I have a client, I might say, you know what, we need to work on losing a little bit of weight at a time. We're going to lose it. We're going to make it happen. We're not going to sit there and be blunt about it. That is what the divine is talking about here. So it is how you speak, how you think is going to change your world 100%. So if I went to that client and said, wow, you're really fat. You're really obese. Yeah, we really need to get some of that weight off of you. How long do you think I'm going to keep that client? Not very long. In fact, I'd be really surprised if they stayed, because that's honest truth, absolute truth. However, again, it's how we speak, how we think, where we think from. That's world thinking, heart thinking, feminine queen thinking, empress thinking is that we say, oh, you know what? Let's try. We figure out how much weight we want to lose, and then let's just take it step by step. I don't go into, wow, you're fat. I don't do that. you know what? That might be the pot calling the kettle black at that point anyway, if you look at me this way. Because when you look at fat, if 25% over the BMI rate, that's considered obese. I was called obese when I was in my 20s, and I was like 140 pounds, and I'm all muscle. But I was more muscle, but he called me obese because I was over that BMI. So anyway, the way that I'm saying is that you need to really think about the words that you're saying and the outcome you want. If you want to get rid of a person, be absolutely blunt and honest. Yes, you'll get rid of them real quick. Is that what you want? If not, then you have to really think and intellectually analyze. Divine is saying, do this out of love. Do this out of absolute. Do it out of your feminine side, female or male or whatever you want to call yourself. Do it out of the feminine side, the unconditional love side, because again, your future energy is restrictions. Restricting your tongue, the worst weapon your body has to ruin anything in this world, anything in this life. All this is, that thing, like the sword, is a complete weapon. You can actually stop that. What is that down there? Must have a fly or a gnat down there, or somebody's tickling my leg. So it can change everything. All right, so let's keep moving. This is a huge, huge message. Wow. Yeah, so we have the Lover's card. Whoops, I'm sorry, I had to do that right. Lover's card. So this is part of a relationship. Somebody's having problems communicating in their relationship. This is the problem. Because when we speak from the feminine, the unconditional love, then that is just basically love. It is the feminine. It is the part that is selfless, thinking about how that person would feel, how they would take it when you share that information with them. All right. And how, it's like, even in dating, it's like, so do you want to move from, are we thinking about moving from the friendship level to the, maybe dating or exclusive, and the other person's like, nah. It's like, wow. You say that to a female, it's like, wow, okay. Are these upside down? Yes. So, I mean, it's all about how you say it. Just say, I'm just not quite ready there, or I really am not thinking about going that way. It's all about how you say it. All about how you say it. And a lot of the times, my mother used to be this way, and she used to cry. And, it would come out of her mouth rough and gruff. And I say, why are you crying? She goes, because I can't seem to I try to say things the right way, and it just comes out the wrong way. I don't know why it's doing that. And so she had to learn to think a lot more and analyze a lot more before she said anything, because it would put her in tears, literally put her in tears. All right. So we have the 6 of Pentacles, and then we have the 2 of Wands. A lot of wands here. This is a lot about your communication and your future. I mean, I can't make this up. This is divine. Thoughts and words from here or here, But the thing is a give and take. So my question is, what I'm hearing is, do you listen more than you speak, or do you speak more than you listen? Excuse me. Do you speak more than you listen? Because this is about your future. And we showed the Lover's card, so it probably has to do with a relationship. But this is also really important for work. You can blow a deal. You can blow a promotion. You can blow a lot of things in work by how you articulate it. And it has to be a give and take. So you have to look at, when you speak in relationships, or any relationship, friends, work, love relationship, friendships, where is this at? Because I had 2 friends when I was 17, 18, 19, somewhere around there. Great friends, lived with both of them. We all got along. However, I saw one girl starting to pull back, and I was like, so what's going on? Why don't you want to go do stuff together anymore? And she goes, because the other person talks about themselves all the time. It's always about themselves. She never asks how I'm doing, how you're doing, and it's always about her. And I didn't realize that until I started intellectually analyzing it, and she was right. And so that's going to ruin a friendship when it's all about you, or you cannot articulate and do this give and take. Now, this is probably work as well, because it's the Pentacles. So this is happening to somebody's work. It's like when you go to work, somebody starts talking about themselves, them work, what they're doing, how they're doing it, whatever. It's going to get old because there's no give and take there. And then they're wondering why you don't have lunch with them, why you don't go with them anymore. But this is about your future. This is also about your future with another partner. Remember, we saw the Lover's card. This doesn't have to be a Lover's card, but this is, again, a relationship. Remember, we are talking about future here. We're talking about something coming together to a celebration. Oops. Well, I'm going to put that on the last. To the celebration. So this is a unity. And we saw the Lover's card, so there is something going on with somebody in that dating realm, or in that marriage realm, or partnership realm, that kind of a thing. So are you bringing it together? Again, the number 2, bringing it together, bring it in balance, or are you going to blow it apart by what you say and what you think? And that's on you. That's on you, because if you say certain things in a certain way, again, you have 2 ways to go, up or down, good or bad, getting together and unify or separate. That's a restriction of the tongue. Okay, this is your future card. This is the planets and stuff. Restriction of your tongue. All right, so let's see what else there is. I keep trying to go in a different direction, but Divine keeps bringing me back here. So I don't know who this is for. But I'm hoping it resonates with somebody. Oh, too many cards there. Because I can't tell you, you know, as a coach, but as, you know, all the experiences in my life, all the things that I have watched, analyzed, all the wisdom that the Divine has given me, I would say this is probably the number 1 most important thing to really look at in your life, because this is about communication. And communication can either build trust. Thank you for that. That's beautiful. I didn't even think about that. Can either build trust or it can break trust. Honestly. And that tower is right in the center of this, guys. I'm not good at killing gnats. It gets away every time. So really, build trust or break it. And that's why the Divine's got that. All right. Whew. It's getting warm out now. All right. So let's see what else we have. Yeah. What did I just say? Build trust or break it. So we had the Lover's card before in the upright. We have it now in the reverse. So this is a work in progress. This is a work in progress for you, not for your partner or whoever, not for the person at work, not for the person that your friend. This is about you. This is about getting your communication, your thought process, and your tongue to match up and to stop and think before we open this nice big pie hole. All right, but here's the cards. We've got the 2. And then we also have the number 6. Again, this is about your harmony and improvement. So we've got the 2 of Cups. We have the 8 of Pentacles and the Lover's card. Okay? So bringing balance. Bring balance back. The only way that you can bring balance back is through your own actions, your own words, your own thought process. And the only way to do that, and it does take strength to do this, because it's going to take courage to face your fears. It's going to take strength to be able to, again, restrict your tongue before you think. Because we want to think and have an action of unconditional love and absolute truth. And the unconditional love is the soft side of us. Again, it is the feminine side of us. Every single person has it on this earth. So, I mean, it's the yin and the yang. If you don't know, or yin yang, or whatever, however, a lot of people say it. But it is the yin and the yang. And if you don't know about yin and the yang, it's the It's the symbols that are in reverse with the dot in the center. So you have the feminine with the male inside, then you have the male with the feminine side. It's just the way that it is. It's balance. We are balanced, but we think worldly, so we throw everything off balance. Because if we all went by spirit, we'd be in balance. And that's why I chose to go to spirit. And let me tell you from experience, number one experience, living worldly sucks because it's a roller coaster, and living in spirit is peaceful, calm, joyous. And I'm not saying there's some roller coasters, but the roller coasters are like a kiddie coaster compared to those big colossal coasters like they're building in Universal Studios that we get to go ride in June. The Velocicoaster or something like that, the biggest one. Hopefully my knee can do it. I'm really excited. Anyway, so that pretty much is your reading, guys. I didn't realize this went on so long, but that is the divine again. So all this is from divine. This is not me. So I appreciate the comments saying that was a great reading. Thank you. Just you have to go and please and thank the divine for allowing me to be the conduit to do the reading, because it is not me. He does give the messages come through. Every time you hear me say thank you, somebody is coming through and giving me information that they want me to share with you. So please understand that. And just know, let me do one card for the future, for the planets. The moon and everything is now, we've got the full moon pretty much gone in energies. It's always moving. Let me tell you, it's going through the planets and through the signs. But I know that the planets are actually, it's death and rebirth, you can go back and watch it because you're going to have those energies all the way through May. So if you haven't watched the full moon video, it still is going to play through May. All right. Protecting your heart. And thank you. So they're saying protect your heart. You have to be really mindful to protect your heart. And the reason why they're showing me a relationship that's breaking apart because you don't know how to communicate properly. You don't know how to make it softer, more feminine, or make it more selfless than selfish. But this also, they're saying to protect the other person's heart. Thank you. It's very beautiful because this is a selfless love. Absolute truth and love is selfless, not selfish. So that is the planets. It is also 9. It is also the number 3, acknowledging, because it's the number 39, which turns into the number 3. So definitely, this is about acknowledging that you are going to protect your heart. You're going to protect somebody. Doesn't mean, thank you. So what they're saying is this does not mean to keep a wall up. It means to break the wall down. So a lot of people say, well, I'll protect my heart. I'll keep my wall up. No, that's the whole opposite. You need to bring it down so that your heart can open up. That's the feminine side. That's the emotional side. But we have to be in control of our emotions. Oh my gosh, that's for a whole nother thing, guys. Feminine, we have to be in control of our feelings and our emotions, not our emotions controlling our feelings. Okay, so that's another whole gamut. Somebody else had that in their reading this week. I don't know who that was, about controlling your feelings. I can't remember. You'll have to look at the subtitles, or if you want to watch that, or the title if you want to watch that. So, but that is your reading, guys. I hope this helped, Leos. You guys are awesome. Leos are awesome. They're loyal. They're very giving. They can be very compassionate, but you can also be very, very blunt. You can be you've got the courage, but you can sometimes be so blunt. So that is probably why the divine had given that. So make sure that you do it in love and kindness and selfness. Think before you speak this week. All right. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed and you want to see more videos, hit the bell and that will notify you when I am on live. I knew we have a new moon coming up, but I don't know the date as of right now, and I haven't gotten that far because I've been super busy. So, but I will do a new moon reading, just like I do the full moons. All right, so I will talk to you soon, and see you next week on the 10th. Take care, Leos. Love you guys.